see, I grew up believing that everybody deep down wants to be somebody. Everybody wants to be somebody. They want to look back at their life and say, dadgummit, I amounted to something. I'm proud of who I was. My life on this earth was worthwhile. I did something, dadgummit, that most people weren't willing to do, you know. And I'm proud of me. And I'm proud of what I've done. And I'm proud of what I stand for. And to reinforce that, I'll never forget the first football team I had. I was assistant coach down in Thomasville, Georgia for 2 years and got my first head coaching job and went to a school that had no real tradition, and it was really a challenge. And I talk about that part of my life in the book. I believe that before you win, everybody gets to a point in their life where you're on the bottom of the barrel. And you got to look at your life and decide if you're going to take it and be average and ordinary, or whether you're going to fight, dadgummit, and be somebody you're proud of. And I got to that point in my life in coaching. I got to a point, lowest point in my professional life, where I looked at Art Williams and I didn't like him a dadgum bit, and I didn't like the place I was at, and I had to make a decision whether I was going to take it or whether I'd fight and never get myself in that situation again. And I made a decision to go for it. But I went over to this school who had no real tradition and whatnot, and we got our football players together. We had 70-something players come out for spring practice, and after about 3 or 4 days, we were down to 17 or 18, you know. And we were playing in a tough football league in Georgia, and I had a mess on my hands. And anyway, I took the next 4 or 5 months and tried to do anything I could to build up a little toughness and a little pride. You know, we tore out the lockers and put new lockers and painted and bought new uniforms, did everything we could do. Well, anyway, for football camp, before football season, 3 weeks before we started football season in the fall, our games, I took the kids, boarded them on a school bus, and we went up to South Carolina to football camp. And up there, they had 6 teams. In South Carolina, you can scrimmage each other before you play the season, you know. And in Georgia, you can't do that. So I took my kids up to South Carolina, and we rolled in on Sunday. And every morning, we would get up at 5:30 or 6 o'clock, and we would jog 3 miles before breakfast. And there were 6 teams there counting us. And the first morning, Monday morning, we got up and we jogged those 3 miles, and we were coming back in after our 3-mile run as most of the other teams were getting up and going to breakfast, you know. And as they were going to breakfast, all of them were laughing at us and ha-ha, and, you know, and at lunch and everything, they'd talk to our kids, said, you know, y'all's coach is a madman. You know, I don't know. I said, man, I couldn't stand that kind of stuff and all that kind of stuff. But we started playing those 5 teams that Monday morning. And by Wednesday morning, we had beaten all 5 of those teams. And we were king of the hill. That's a true story now. Thursday morning at 5:30, 2 of those other teams were up jogging 3 miles an hour. Now, folks, you think about that. You think about that. See, those kids want to be somebody. Now, it ain't no fun to get up at 5:30 or 6 o'clock, dadgummit, and go out there and run 3 miles and stuff like that. But if they knew they could win, if they knew, dadgummit, they could do something and become somebody they could look back on with some pride, they're willing to do that. Well, I like to look at life like it is, you know. Ain't nobody more positive or happy and excited and appreciative and loves people and loves life like I do. But I also accept that life's tough. Life's a dadgum challenge, right? And dadgummit, I want to be somebody. I want to do something I'm proud of. I want Angela and the kids to look at me and say, dadgummit, I'm proud to have him on my team. You know, dadgummit, I like that guy. Well, I ain't going to let nothing or nobody tear me down and make me give it. If you want to be average and ordinary, great. What can I do about that? You know, you got to make that decision. But I ain't going to be average and ordinary just to make you happy. You know, I'm going to be somebody. If you want to quit, I understand why you want to quit. I wanted to quit 10 million times, right? But I decided I was going to quit quitting. The dadgummit, I'm going to see this thing through, you know.